Have you
Welcome to Happy Old Reds, where it finished Forest 1, Liverpool 1. And Slut, we are still rent-free. Evening, guys. Welcome to the earlier time for Happy Old Reds, because we have to cheer on Spurs tonight, boys. I can't, man. It was bad enough cheering on you last week.
What I was thinking to myself is, look,
right,
I'm not going to jump up and down if Spurs score. I'm not going to, yes, or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I have to prefer Spurs to win this particular game, and it fucking hurts. It hurts.
I'm doing a watch along for it. So the watch along will be straight after this. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to react, man. Oh my God. My brother's going to feel it if I celebrate a Spurs goal. Anyway, we're here for the Forest. Hope you guys are well. Welcome to the aftermath of it. I haven't spoken to any of the boys, so I'm extremely interested to hear about their opinions.
Crypto, stop changing my fucking name. I can see you looking at the keyboard. Stop doing it. Carry on.
All right, cool. We've just been demonetized. Appreciate that.
It's not the watershed yet.
YouTube don't care about that. Anyway, I forgot to say. Oh, Forest. Something about Forest. Okay. I want to get into this. Get the likes up. Get your hellos in. Make sure you're subscribed. I said in the player ratings, I was disappointingly happy, I think. The phrase I used, something like that. I don't know. I made it up.
It was a great phrase. Yeah, I knew exactly what you meant by that.
Did it make sense? You understood what I meant?
It made sense. Yeah, it did. When you said it, I thought that's the feeling. That's it.
Why were you disappointingly happy, Ant?
Well, because it was a great performance by our boys. Put everything into it. But the goal we let in, you know, if they'd have carved open and created a proper chance and scored. I mean, they had chances, but I'll go on to that later. Then it's acceptable. But when it's a straight corner onto somebody's head, boom, that for us, that's not good. And that's the disappointment. Had it not been for that, had he brought on Morata at half time, then I think we would have won the game. So that's the disappointing bit. I'm not disappointed with the result. I'm perfectly okay with 1-1. I think, you know, that's okay against Liverpool. That's okay. It's just those two things, not bringing on Morata earlier and closing the game out. And the goal we conceded was not a good goal to concede. That's the disappointing side.
At 9:15 yesterday, I received a text message. Where is my Morata? 2 minutes later. That is what Morata regret feels like. A few minutes later. Where the F are our subs? A few minutes later at 9:29. Has Nuno gone offline? Any ideas who sent me those text messages?
Yeah. Do you know the most shocking thing about that? And this is a genuine question. How the hell do you get that good reception in the City ground? Who are you on? What mobile?
You were at the game.
WhatsApp doesn't work in the ground, so that's if you send a regular text message, it does escape the ground.
I get no reception there, man.
That's good to know. It's good to know.
I don't get any reception either. But my brother who sits next to me does.
I wasn't wrong though.
Charlie's got exactly the same phone as me, and he does. Can I just add to Wolfie's things? As soon as I got home, I sent Wolfie a text and WhatsApp as well, and it said, "Hey up, I'm pretty happy with that result. But I do have a question I hope you can answer. Why did Nuno not bring on Morata much earlier, or at least when he saw Jota getting ready to come on?" So I think we're all on the same page.
So Nuno claims that he was about to do our subs straight, well, at the same time. So I don't know.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said in the post-match, he said that he was getting his subs ready. But I don't understand if the ball's out of play for a corner, then both sides can do their subs. I don't think there's anything stopping us. So...
No, there's a rule. There is a rule.
There's that old adage though, Rob, as well. You don't change your defense at a corner, and I understand why, because obviously if you're going to have different people with allocated positions and stuff from a corner. So It may
but
have
that's
been
the
that,
problem,
but the
because
fact it was a corner.
I said to the guy next to me, Jamie, I said the problem is if somebody comes on as a sub, it's nobody's job to mark him because you're still reorganizing.
Bingo.
Yeah,
Because the point is, how did the small guy manage to outjump the defense? It's because he'd come on and it was nobody's job to mark him. I do think that we've got a case, by the way, for that goal to be ruled out, because there's a guy basically standing in Matz Sels, as far as I could see. I don't know which Liverpool defender it was, but
he twerked him, man. He twerked him.
It was disgusting. It was a form of assault. It was. I mean, really,
was it Gapco? Was it Gapco that?
Yeah.
It didn't look right. Let's put it this way: it didn't look right. I mean, when you consider that Ryan Yates was basically booked and penalised time and time again for basically standing in the way of Liverpool midfielders, right?
No, he was not.
He was rugby tackling them.
He was not.
Well,
He was
anyway,
grabbing them like this. He was doing the old get from behind and grab, man. And then he looks like he's like, why are you giving a foul? He was literally right here on that bosom area.
I tell you what, Liverpool are very, very good at. And it was so obvious, and I was getting angry and saying to my brother, this is really annoying me now, is that when the ball's up coming towards a Liverpool player up in the air and there's a defender about it, they're very, very good. And it's a skill of like falling into the player that's standing behind him and then going down. So it looks like he's been brought down. They were doing that all game. They were literally leaning into our defender and then going down. Or the defender, because the defender was being pushed backwards, he'd put his arms out to stabilize himself. They were very good at it. We ought to learn from that.
Let's rewind, right? And while we're doing that quick rewind button, Mikey, thank you so much for the £2, bud. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, buddy. Ez, the team sheet, when you guys saw it,
yeah,
what were you saying to it? You happy with it? Do you want a back 3, back 4?
No, I think we kind of discussed it last time, didn't we? And I think I agree. The only change I probably would have made, and I would have made it as well, would bring in Yatesy for Dominguez, and I would have gone with the back 4 as it was. And I felt like we started off, we were having pot shots. I think it was Gravenbach. He must have like 3 conversions in that first 10 minutes. Yeah, they were wild all over the place, you know. I don't know if that was a tactic of theirs where Arne said to them, take long shots at them, you know, but that was perfectly playing into our game plan. And the way the first half went was very reminiscent of the Spurs game for me. And we looked really comfortable. The game plan was perfect for that first half, but the second half.
We'll never know about the second half.
As that's pretty impressive, speaking without moving.
I'm not.
I said to I said to my brother, I was sitting next to. I said, look, if in the first half particularly, I said if these weren't called Liverpool, it's comfortable. I wouldn't be worried. It's only the fact that it's Liverpool that you're kind of on edge. But actually, we were very, very comfortable. And there's one point I need to make, and that is I'm sick of Liverpool fans and the fans of other teams about the game last night saying, "Oh, Liverpool, you know, should have won." They were pushing Forest back. When will these people realise that is our game plan? We play to let the opposition have the ball and come on to us so we can break. It's not that team's fantastic and they're pushing us back. It's that we allow teams to come on to us. Why do they not understand that?
Because they don't watch us. Because they don't watch us. I had that with Liverpool foul last night when I was saying, you just played into our game plan. They're like, you were playing deeper. You were playing low. I was like, no, we weren't. That's not low block. I put the stats up. It's a mid block.
The early goal, I think, made them very wary of the transition or of losing possession. So they were more likely to try a shot from range because, you know, if it goes over the bar, at least we're not going to hit them on the break from it. So,
sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I mean, Andy is besotted by you. Says you look very sharp right now.
I had a haircut yesterday, so
sharp. You're looking good, mate. Go on, sorry, carry on.
It does look good, mate.
It reminded me of the first half that we had against Crystal Palace, where Nketiah and Eze were kind of shooting from 30 yards, and everyone was laughing at them, you know, because they were worried about if they try and thread through that pinpoint pass and then they lose it and it goes to Gibbs White, we could cut them open. You know, we did it after 8 minutes and they were worried about us doing it again. So I think that affected how they played. Now, you know, my only possible explanation for why Morato didn't come on at halftime is that if you're Nuno and you've seen that first half, you're thinking, what have we got to worry about? I'm not going to change the game plan. Based on what I've seen in the first half, why would I change the game plan? I saw things very differently, which is, you know, we had a situation where you've got two central midfielders on yellow cards, silly yellow cards. One of those central midfielders played the full 90 minutes on Saturday, and we started to wilt. We started to get overrun in midfield because you've got two players that can't put a tackle in. Yeah. And really, if you weren't going to put Morato on at half time, 55, 60 minutes, that was the time to do it. And we had a small window of opportunity where we could have made that change, and he delayed it too long. And it was like the Spurs game. It felt like a bit of a flex, and I think it was a wrong time to do that flex. We got away with it in the Spurs game. We delayed the Morato phase, and we got away with it. Liverpool are very, very big difference to Spurs. So a bit of a missed opportunity.
I'll be honest with you, boys. Ben, would you have brought him on straight away after Wood scored?
No, but I would have probably brought Morato on probably in the 50th, 55th minute. I mean, personally, I would have taken Yates off and put Morato on. And if Murillo needed to, he could have pushed up into that CDM role, which we've seen him do recently. But I mean, there's some positives from last night, because I know we didn't win the game, but although we drew it, there's some stats out there which are actually really impressive. So Salah yesterday, he lost the ball 25 times. That's the most amount of times a player has lost the ball in a Premier League match this season. So, a huge shout out to Nico Williams. He did an absolute job on Salah last night. Liverpool have been averaging 2 goals a game, and in our 2 games, they've scored 1 goal against us. So they're averaging, you know, four goals across 2 games. Against us, they've only scored 1. So although we didn't get the 3 points yesterday, statistically, we're one of the best teams in the league. I mean, if you look at the FPL, like stats-wise, Sels is the best goalkeeper. Murillo and Milenkovic are the best defensive pairing. Aina is the best right back. Alanga's one of the top assists. Chris Wood is right at the top goal scorers nearly, behind Salah and Haaland, and I think, is it Cole Palmer? So, look, we didn't get the 3 points. It was a bit disappointing, but I don't think yesterday changed our kind of chance that much of actually going ahead and getting in the top 4 or even winning the title. Because if we keep playing
a 5-point swing, mate, it has to.
But if we keep playing like we did last night, that's the best team we're going to face now. No one else is going to come to the City Ground and play like that against us. And Ez found that stat before, where Liverpool at Christmas 7 times have been top of the league, and only once have they gone on to win it. And that was during the COVID season, which didn't even count. Nobody cared. Nobody even watched them win the league. So, look, I think we're the informed team still. And like I say, I know we didn't get 3 points last night, but we gave them one hell of a game, and they're not going to get that against another team. So I'd keep faith. I think we're going to do something special this season.
Let me add another stat to your array of stats. Salah has had GA in every game this season, barring 3. 2 of those against Forest.
Yeah.
The other one was Crystal Palace. For some reason, I don't know.
Listen, we're a good side. I like most people, even Forest fans. You know, after sort of 10 games, 12 games, you're kind of worried this can't continue. This is not sustainable. You know, now we're actually a good side. We're not in a false position. We're where we are because we're good, and there's no reason for us not to continue this. And if we continue in the same vein, we will get Europe. And Crypto said, you know, it could be a great season. Getting Europe would be an outstanding. Unimaginable at the beginning of the season, an unimaginable position to be in. So we've got everything to play for. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Masters still got 300 to 1. Wow.
I've got 200 to 1 Masters. So
you've gone
to win the league.
Top 4.
Yeah, I've got a fiver at 200 to 1 for Forest to win the league.
Why do you even tell us that? It's never going to happen now, is it?
Don't make
You're
me
gonna
answer
get
that
relegated.
question.
No, actually, let me
Bona.
just finish. Let me say this, because you kind of put me on the spot on the last show and asked me if we were going to win the league, and I said yes.
Get
And
closer to the mic, bro. Get closer to that mic.
I said yes, and I don't think that's really changed after yesterday for me.
Sound like Barry White now.
He's very
The
Barry
result
White.
tonight, the result tonight might make a difference, but to what my feelings. But nobody took advantage of our slip up yesterday, because I feel the 3 points were ours for the taking. As much as Sels was a man of the match, and you got to say he was. I felt we could have won that game if Nuno played the tactics that have worked for us all season. That's what I don't understand. I think I kind of caught Rob saying it was a flex from Nuno. And that's what it felt like yesterday. And I don't know why he felt like he needed to do that. Did Morata play the full game on a weekend? Did he play 90 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So that might be the only reason why you don't bring him on at half time.
Well, another possible explanation is that I think Nuno didn't want to blunt our own attacking threat, because it was almost like the more Liverpool pushed forward, the more we had a chance of catching them on the break, maybe getting a second. And I think the problem is that once we had Morata on, you've got to remember that for those last 15 minutes where they were bombarding us, we did have Morata on, right? And we were clinging on by our fingernails.
Okay,
and
let me just finish my point, though.
If you're Nuno and you make a change and you bring on an extra centre-back and you somehow sort of reduce the attacking threat, you initiate that phase of constant pressure, and it just starts earlier. And rather than having to survive a very scary 15 minutes, you have to survive a very scary 40 minutes.
Rob,
so I'm not,
one second, it's Rob.
Sorry?
I know you were nervous yesterday, so I just need to let you know. Morata came on in the 90th minute.
Was it? Okay. Well, anyway.
I get why it would feel like 15 minutes.
But what I'm saying is that I think
Rob was too busy texting Wolfie all the time.
I'm not trying to defend what Nuno did. I'm trying to explain it in that if he does bring Morata on early and looks like he's trying to lock down the 3 points at 50 minutes or whatever, you are inviting 40 minutes of constant pressure, and perhaps
but that's what we do, Rob.
Yeah,
but that's what we do.
I know. I'm not defending it. I'm trying to explain it.
No, I know you're not, and you could be right, but for me that's nonsensical. We stood more chance of bringing Morata on and defending a 1-0 lead than we did of leaving Morata off and getting another goal.
Can we just talk about the fact I really felt like for the last half hour that our attacking threat completely dropped off. That's
okay, but there's another side to that as well, because I saw players visibly blowing yesterday. Nico around the hour mark, 65-minute mark. Nico was really struggling.
Elanga and Hudson-Odoi
as well.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them for that.
No, I'm not blaming anybody, but Elanga and Hudson-Odoi visibly tired for the last half hour.
Exactly. So surely Nuno should have seen that. I'm not defending Nuno's decisions yesterday, because I think
Nico did as well. He
was gone at 70, 75.
Was visibly tiring. Yeah. Nico was visibly tired. He was hunched over and he was struggling, and they noticed that as well. This is what I mean. You can't defend Nuno on that. I'm sorry. We praised him. We've given him 10 out of 10s when he's had 10 out of 10s. But yesterday, I think he's cost us 2 points yesterday, because we were comfortable for the best part of an hour. And as soon as he's seeing the Jota substitution being made, he's got to counterattack that. So why he was flexing yesterday, I do not understand. And when the subs that he
I can't believe that was the reason. Nuno doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. He's very ultra safe, isn't he? But I know what you're saying. I can't explain it either. I can't explain it.
But the fans around me were getting fed up with me shouting for Morata. I was shouting for him from half time.
What, you stayed for the second half, Ez? That's pretty impressive.
Up, man.
That's pretty impressive. You know, I was gonna make a point about it. For me, it was similar to the Wolves match, where there was that. I think it was the first half of the Wolves match.
Oh my god!
Half of Liverpool yesterday.
We're not bashing Nuno, by the way. We're not back. We absolutely adore Nuno. We all adore Nuno.
Look, I know SSK is probably he's just being sarcastic, right? But there will be some in there that are ready with the clip buttons, right? It is okay to criticize anyone if you feel they've done something wrong. Okay, we're not going to sit here and happy clap.
Yeah, I absolutely worship Stan Collymore. Worship the guy. But when he got sent off against Bolton, I was fuming, telling him to F off out of my club, never come back again. You know,
that must mean you hate him, man. Yeah.
He let me down on that particular occasion. So, but
when you had
he had just scored though. I was at that game. He had just scored.
Literally 30 seconds later. Big goal kick from the goalkeeper. Took it down. Goal. So,
you should have had that same passion when he off. And you should have had that same passion when he blocked me on Twitter. I just want to finish my point about.
Just before you finish your point, just quick reminder: 89 likes, guys. Over 300 already in here.
Come on, guys.
Over 100. Let's get it done. Sorry, Ben. Go on.
So just to finish my point, the second half of the Liverpool game yesterday reminded me of the first half of the Wolves game, and their fans were saying the same thing. We should have scored 3 or 4 past year. It should have been 4-1, etc., etc. The difference is it wasn't. The difference between us this season and last season is that our defense is so strong. I know we let the corner in, but our defense is so strong now, especially when Morata is on the pitch, that we no longer concede all these goals. And a lot of that praise you've got to give to Sels, obviously, because yesterday he was out of this world, as I thought was Murillo and Nico Williams, probably their best games of the season. But the difference for me this season is, you know, last season we would have lost that game, and we probably would have lost the Wolves game. This season, it's just like an absolute brick at the back.
And can I tell you what? Another thing, it's not just for players. Yesterday was what I predicted, one of the best atmospheres I've seen at the City Ground in years. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The fans were
immense. Like Sheffield, did it feel a bit like Sheffield? Semi-finals.
I wasn't there for Sheffield, unfortunately. I was there that night, but it was
amazing. I mean, there was
towards the end of the game. Towards the end of the game, when Nuno was saying that, when the Forest fans were singing Forest Magic on and off the pitch, that really did keep the players, gave them that extra whatever it needed to get through those last few minutes.
When the time came up and all the Forest fans swinging the scarves around, around, singing. Honestly, goose pimple time.
Oh, I hate that though. Last time some kid nearly took my eye out.
Yeah, but you know what? I was looking at them in admiration. I was like, I'm sitting here just holding my butt cheeks together so nothing comes out. And you men are just sitting there swinging your scarves around, man. Like they could score it.
It was amazing. The singing.
The whole ground stood. The whole ground stood. Honestly, it was.
And the taunting of Honest Slot, man, that was unbelievable. We were cussing everything about him. We were cussing his bald head. Everything. The Forest fans owned him yesterday. Forest fans absolutely owned Honest Slot yesterday.
Trainers are shit. Your trainers are shit.
No, what about the shit Gary Rowett? That was my favourite one. You're just a shit Gary Rowett because of his trainers. Because of his bloody trainers, man. How childish is that?
We had a whole songbook just on Honest Slot.
Just to finish up on the Morata thing, I don't want to spend too long on it. I was just looking back against Man City. Do you know what minute he got subbed on?
90.
Half time.
I can't even remember the Man City game. We lost.
We were 2-0 down at the time. I'm sure it's slightly different, but okay, let's move on. We got to talk about Sels because this guy, there's no way I would have, even with my great football knowledge, have ever expected this keeper to be this red hot, man. He is just on.
And he's getting better.
What with you lot on your internets today, man? Freaking never felt I had to host the show by myself because they all dropped out. Now you dropped out. Now Hans dropping out. Anyway,
I think Hans gone to watch the Arsenal match.
It's not yet. Still got an hour.
He's gone early. He's got to check the team sheet.
Sels has just been ridiculous. And this we have to fully praise Nuno on because we've had many debates about Sels, Miguel, do we need another keeper, Kelleher, so on and so forth. And shout out to some, I remember a lot in the chat was saying, Nuno's goalkeeper, surely he's going to know best. I think this one's been settled, hasn't it? Who wants to talk about Sels first? Go on, Rob.
Oh, me? Well, yeah, all right.
You know why I've come to you.
Well, we were right to ask the questions after the bad run that we had with the Arsenal and the Man City games. But, I mean, are
we now or are you?
I'm saying, you don't speak for me, mate.
Listen here, Kelleher lover. You're distancing yourself from your own narrative very quickly there. So
I was just representing Nicky, man. That's all I was doing, right?
Okay. So no, look, he is being openly talked about by us, by pundits, and by opposition fans as the best keeper in the league. And it's probably because almost everyone has got him in their fantasy team because he's $1 million cheaper than Raya and he's got more points. So why would anybody have Raya when you can have Sels? So
not everything comes down to FPL, you know, Rob.
No, but what I'm saying is
there's
that
a world outside the FPL world, you know.
Okay, but if it wasn't for FPL, I think a lot of people have awareness of Sels, even if they haven't been watching the games, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that what is amazing is you see it time and again, people referring to him as the best keeper in the league, and no one's even really challenging that. You know, no one's even saying, "Don't be silly, Matz Sels."
Only you and Nicky.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, your name literally says it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh,
Really.
will you
Stop switching those names around, man?
Block him.
It's like a 4 year. It's like Crypto's like
Honestly,
a 4-year-old,
man.
isn't it? It really is like a 4-year-old.
I thought Carlos Miguel had a good game against Luton.
I agree.
Well, let's not go over this. Sels is the best in the league at the moment.
Definitely.
I don't think anybody would deny that.
And his own
unbelievable.
His own rise has kind of mirrored the team as well. Because when he's been good, the whole team's been good.
And Rob, he's got better defenders in front of him. Solid defense. That makes a huge difference.
Credit to Aina for that clearance off the line. I mean, there were some amazing tackles yesterday as well. People just throwing themselves in the way of stuff. You know, Murillo, Aina, people just putting the body on the line, literally. So it's not just Sels, but I mean, there was one. From my viewpoint in G Block in the Clough stand, so I was kind of like behind the Chris Wood shot and I saw it going in. And then there was one, I can't remember which player it was, but they kind of did a Hudson-Odoi move and they came across from the left and they shot from the edge of the box. It was around about 87, 88 minutes.
For them.
For them. And I was directly behind it. I thought, oh my God, that's going in. Because the goal just looked so big and the shot was so powerful. And just next thing I know, he's just tipped it around the post. I'm not going to look that up when somebody else is talking, but it was an amazing save, a really amazing save. How fast he got down to it. So
the one where he didn't exactly sort of save it as such, but where he rushed out onto the penalty spot and just closed the space down and made the save.
Spread himself,
Huge against Chelsea, I think that was. Yeah.
Did this all start when he got that bang on the head at Chelsea? I think it did.
We did say that, didn't we?
Yeah. He's never been the same since.
I thought it was a bit harsh, to be honest, that he didn't win man of the match because
he should have.
Yeah, he has in a lot of places.
Yeah, but he put another goalkeeper in net yesterday. I mean, he put another world-class keeper in there, like Matt Turner, for example. He wouldn't have made those saves. So I thought he was brilliant yesterday. I don't think we necessarily criticised him throughout the season. All I've said in the past is that he didn't used to make the spectacular saves.
Yeah, that's what we all said.
Recently, he is making, some of the biggest spectacular saves you can see.
I would say.
So he's fantastic. I mean, what a keeper! And as someone said, he's top of the FPL stats as well.
And I think he's just getting better as well. That's what I'm noticing.
Is he better than Courtois? Is he better than Courtois?
What Courtois are we comparing him to, though? What era we
he's not been around. It's not been good for a long time, Courtois, hasn't.
You know what? Why I'm asking is he basically what I'm saying is he Belgium's number one now as well?
100%. But wasn't Belgium's?
Come on, guys, the football knowledge, keep up.
Yeah,
I didn't realise Courtois was still Belgium's number one, to be honest.
Yeah, him and Sels.
He's Belgium's number one, and the Luton goalkeeper is Belgium's number 3, Kaminsky, who we played against last week. So
I think Castells is their number one. I think Castells is.
Castells has played a lot recently, hasn't he, for Belgium? I think.
Right. Just let me catch up on a couple of messages. Paul with the 29 months. Thank you so much, Paulie boy. And Big Willie style with the 28 months.
Sorry, Will. We didn't meet you. We went to meet
I met him afterwards.
We ended up meeting my hero.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec.
We meet every weekend. You shouldn't make a big deal out of it.
Hold on. And the lovely and beautiful Steph with the 5 coffees saying, afternoon, gents. I am happy that we held tight and kept it to a draw. Enjoy some coffee. Steph, you're an absolute legend.
Buy me a coffee, man.
And Wazza with the £2 says buzzing. I like that song, by the way, from 50 Cent. Don't underestimate Southampton on Sunday. I'm already worried about it, mate. I'm already worried about it.
I'm not going to underestimate them. I'm going to tell you exactly. We're going to fucking thrash them.
We're going to batter them. We are going to batter
them. They're rubbish.
Tell them now. I'm telling you now.
And if you lot want a preview of Sorry Mike, let me know by getting those likes up.
Yeah.
Because we are on 125 likes. We got about 350 in the house. If you want to hear that beautiful voice, let me know by getting those likes up. And the main man, Andy, with the 9 months. Thank you so much, Andy. You're an absolute legend. And just to address what was said here on Hennessy, I'll cover it off in the next transfer video, which will be, when's Thursday? Tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow. Next transfer. There's a lot to talk about in the transfer videos.
I would say it's on Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I've been on 4 streams today. I'm all over the place. Yeah,
I know. Man.
And right on cue tomorrow. You'll get all your updates tomorrow. There are updates on Patreon as well. So if you want to hook up to Patreon,
one quick comment, because just on some of the content that I have managed to catch up on today, it seems it's taken a draw against Liverpool for us to get some serious respect from the top sixers or the big 6 teams. The previous 6 wins didn't seem to do it, but I think, people are, if not putting us in a title race, certainly putting us in a top 4 battle and putting some respect on Forest's name. But it's weird that it's taken a draw at home against Liverpool to get that,
Yeah, well, that's because that's probably the only time I've watched us. That's why.
Yeah, probably.
But I'll tell you what, I agree with you 100%. But what is 100%, by the way, guys? Not 110, just 100. I agree with you 100% that what's worrying me is that our boys are really starting to be individually picked out by these guys as well. I mean, I've seen people today calling themselves the best goalkeeper in the league. Einer's getting a lot of attention. Murillo, obviously. Yeah. I mean, even I think it was
Gold. Chris Wood as well.
But he's of an age. You know what I mean?
He is of an age, but people are still saying, can he do a job? If Kane can go over to Germany and still be performing, he's not out of it. This is the thing nowadays. When we were growing up, people used to say, when you get to 30, you've lost your legs. And,
30, yeah.
I do. Yeah. It's not the case anymore.
I'm now 27 and I'm like
Goldbridge was even saying on his program last night that he'd prefer Elanga to their winger, the wingers they've got.
He's backtracked a bit, hasn't he?
It's way better.
He's trying to say it was his lack of knowledge for what he said earlier, but you don't make those comments. Go on.
I wouldn't worry about that, Hasda. He'll probably miss the train. Just like he missed that ball yesterday that got fed into him by who was it, Elanga?
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, but we've got to talk about Taiwo's touch yesterday.
All right, let's talk about Taiwo.
It is one of the worst touches I've ever seen in a professional football match. I mean, the ball was played straight to his feet, and he knocked it straight out for a throw-in. I mean,
when did Taiwo come on? Didn't he come on 90 minutes as well? Like
he came on pretty late.
He did. He came on
really late. Okay, so he's coming into the game. Context.
No,
he's coming into a game.
That man.
No. Context, right? He's coming into a game on the 90th minute where it's at full pelt at this stage. It is pretty much end to end at this stage. We're trying to keep them up, but we're also trying to attack at the same time. And he's come on. Yes, it was an awful touch, but until he's out the door, I won't be slagging him off, man. You're so quick to jump on him.
I'm not slagging him off. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you are. Go on, carry on with your agenda. Carry on.
It's got to be one of the worst touches I've ever seen for what is a 20-25 million pound player in the Premier League to take a pass to his feet.
On this for too long, really great performances, and we're talking about Taiwo's touch. And what I would say in defence of, in defence of Crypto here is that Jota came on, scored within 22 seconds. So it doesn't always mean a lot. Exactly. He's cold, he needs his touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Tsimikas put the corner in. I mean,
it's not an excuse. Yeah, he did. It's not an excuse it never has been. For God's sake, if you're a professional footballer who plays about with his balls every single day, and you can't come on and be ready, and have a bad touch like that, that is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care whether you come, when you're coming on, where you're coming on, how you're coming on. You're a professional footballer.
Well,
You should,
here's another.
if I went in the park tomorrow, I swear on my daughter's life, if I went into the park tomorrow, having not played football for I don't know how many years, I guarantee my touch will be better than Taiwo's. Guarantee it.
So-
In that particular instance, my touch would be better.
It was
So there's no
all-
excuse for it. Just come on. I don't go along with that. Never have done.
but yeah, he would have been warmed up
seven.
before the match.
He only got 7 minutes, right? But I
Thank
tell you what,
God.
it really made me thought.
I
In
don't have an
terms,
issue with Taiwo. He makes mistakes. It was a terrible
It-
touch.
it-
Okay, let's move on.
in terms of this transfer window and what is the next step for Forest, what the whole thing made me think of is like, just imagine if we'd had a Jimenez level player that we could have introduced into that game 60, 65 minutes, and they'd had half an hour going at Liverpool, because it would have meant less last ditch defending, and it would have meant that we would have had a more credible attacking threat. So, you know, Chris Wood did the business, but, you know, he's obviously not going to be the same threat after 70, 75
This is the
minutes.
thing.
But he
He
would
needed
after 8 minutes. So
he
I-
needed to come off. He needed to come off, and we didn't have. We haven't got.
we didn't
We
have
haven't got
someone on the
replacement
level.
right now, and we want to get rid of T. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is bring a player in before you get
Yeah.
rid of
So
anybody.
if,
Yeah,
well,
I know, I
agreed.
agree.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
but
Taiwo's
not,
the answer.
not someone that comes on for 7 minutes. This is what I'm saying. If
No,
you want to go from
exactly,
being
that's
the
what I mean.
second
So
best
we haven't got
team,
an option. We haven't got
if
an
you want to
option
go
at the
from
moment.
being the
Nuno's
second
happy
best
with.
team in the league to being the best, that's what it looks like. You need to have somebody like a Jota quality player that you can
I
bring
would
on.
love him at Forest. I would love him.
At 65 minutes, who's going to terrorize them for the last half an hour, so that you're not on the edge of your box, so that they're constantly worried about what's gonna happen at the other end of the pitch.
Rob, can I give you an alternative to that? What I would have preferred, I agree with you, but what I would have preferred to see is taking Ryan Yates off for a Gravenberch type player, for a Declan Rice type player, because yesterday in that
We've
number
got that,
six,
but Danilo's injured at the moment. When Danilo's back,
but-
that problem goes away.
Sangare.
we
And Sangare too.
we looked weak in that position yesterday.
We did.
Yeah, but we've
look
got
weak,
our
and we
two
invited
starting
pressure through
midfielders
the
missing,
middle.
Crypto. Don't underestimate, don't underplay that. We've got our two starting midfielders.
Okay, and I understand, but do you class Danilo as a 6? I'd say he was more of an 8.
We bought him as a 6. I don't class him as a 6
think he looks
myself,
better
but
on
we
the
bought
attack.
him as a 6.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I think he looks better as an 8.
I agree. But when you're playing 8, that doesn't mean you can't slip back into the 6th
Absolutely.
position.
And with what we've got available,
He was an 8, gone into a 6, gone into a centre back. Yeah. Look, I've got to say on Taiwo, just to finish off on Taiwo, I can't look past that touch. I'm sorry, I can't. Like, I coach under 14s. When they were under 7s, they didn't take touches like that. Your first touch is a natural thing. It's a natural thing.
That's
no
what
one's
saying about me.
defending that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we shouldn't be.
Do it.
I'm saying I
him.
love the guy. I love what he's done for the club. He's got to go. And I know it sounds harsh over one touch, because what I will back up is he actually slipped a nice ball through into the right channel a couple of minutes later.
Yeah.
You know, let's not underlook that. But I'm sorry, we need better. And this is where
he
we
also,
have to
he
be.
also does look better, Wolfie. He does look better, in my opinion. Looks better than Chris Wood at actually running about and pestering defenders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I
he has
agree.
got something about,
I agree.
Yeah, but the one thing
I'd
I'd say on that is that's what Jota Silva does. But for me, that's kind of all he does, is he runs around and he gets involved, but he doesn't really do that much.
I mean, Jota Silva was poor yesterday, you know. To be
So and he came on in the 90th, didn't he? He came on in the 90th.
well, no, he was early, wasn't he? Was he one of his?
Oh,
last
sorry, you're right.
three?
83rd, yeah.
Why not bring Sosa on? You know, keep Elanga on the right hand side. That's what I would have done.
But these two guys, Sosa and Jota, are not the answer. They're not good enough.
Yeah, I've said it.
If we were chasing the game, what options did we have on the bench? Say we were 1-0 down at halftime. What options would we have had off the bench to really change the game? And that's something that needs to be addressed this January.
This time last year, we were looking to Divock Origi and Reina, right? So it's just accept.
It's a little better.
Name him Reina.
Right, can I just put all this into perspective, right? Because I've got the stats in front of me now. Look, Diogo Jota scored in the 66th minute. Okay. We replaced Yates, excuse me, Yates with Dominguez in the 76th minute. So that's 10 minutes after the goal was scored. Jota Silva in the 83rd minute. Right. And Marino, Awonyi, and Morato on in the 90th minute. What was the point? What was the point in all that?
Yeah,
They should have all been done earlier. All of
yesterday.
them should have been done earlier.
So, do you want to know why he did it? Should I tell you my philosophy on this? I can't remember what game it was. It was a couple of games ago where he was late with his subs as well, but we won. I think he wanted them as time-wasting subs. I think he thought he had enough to hold the 1-0.
Annoys me because it doesn't waste time.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not agreeing with it.
I know.
He has done it a couple of games ago, and it worked. And you know, if it works, you look good. If it don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? And I just because when you look at those times, you're right. 3 subs in the 90th minute, 1 7 minutes before that, and 1 kind of 7 minutes before that. It's to
and we've got 7 minutes extra. We've got 7 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's to chew the clock down.
It's like when players stay down. I was saying to Nathan, when players, it really annoys me when like Forest players are down trying to waste time because they'll just add it on.
Yeah.
So what's the point? I hate it. I really do.
Just a side note, that's good to hear. I haven't seen it yet, Matt. Yeah. Refunds or credit being offered for the Luton debacle. That's good to hear. Shout out to the club.
I know what I heard. It annoyed me a bit was that it's a credit to spend in the club shop. That's what I heard. And I think that's damn cheeky if it's true, yeah. But I don't want to, that's all I've heard. So maybe somebody
quite nice hat like Rob did. I just want to make a point on expectations because at the beginning of the season, if someone said to you, right, Forest are guaranteed to finish in a European spot this season, I'm sure 99% of the fan base would have said, yeah, end the season, we'll take it. Where we're looking at it now, because, you know, some people are saying, you know, why we've been critical, but where we're looking at now is the expectations higher. I would be genuinely disappointed now if we didn't make Champions League football, because at this moment in time, I think we look like one of the best teams in the Premier League. And as expectation rises, and we've talked about this before with Morgan Gibbs-White, as something gets better and better, everybody else's expectations gets more and more. So, yes, we're having an absolutely fantastic season that most people could have never dreamt of. But now we are in this position. We need to fix these small things, such as subs coming on late, such as players who are maybe slightly weaker in those positions. And we need to just go for it and try and do as well as we can, because we've got ourselves here. What's the point of wasting the season? Might not have the season again next season.
I just think we need to continue doing what we've been doing. I don't think we need to change anything.
Yeah.
Why risk it? Why start go for it? Why risk that? No, just keep doing what we're doing. We're second in the league.
I'm talking about going for it in, I think we need a striker backup. I think we need a proper number 6 in there. I'm talking about we should give this season everything, because we might not get a chance like this again. The one thing you've got to remember is Man City, crap. Man United, crap. Spurs, crap. Arsenal bottling it. Newcastle are good and Liverpool are good, but there may not be another season like this where all of the Cartel 6 are basically, you know, having a bad season for them.
You are speaking great sense there. Great sense.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. However, if you look at the Premier League over the past 5 or 6 years off the top of my head, this has been happening every season. Chelsea last year, other teams, Spurs the year before. It happens every year that teams will say, this has got to be our year now because it might not happen again. But the super teams, so-called super teams, are no longer that far above everybody else, in my opinion. People are catching up.
I hear what you're saying. My rebuttal to that would be the problem you have with those teams that have that shoot-up season, like Newcastle did a couple of years ago, say Villa did last year, is that the other clubs come and start sniping their players into the next season. And that's the problem. And this is why I think, just as important as it is for us to get some players, the locking down of Murillo's contract, this non-clause contract, Morgan Gibbs-White, etc., is absolutely crucial.
But I think
That doesn't guarantee Murillo's going to stay. It just means we're going to get whatever we want for him.
Protects us, though. Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
Champions League football to keep some of these players. We need.
He said in his post-match though he would love to play Champions League with Forest next season. So you know, more signs.
Who said that? Who said that?
Murillo.
Shout out to Jay. I think Jay sent that to me. Yeah.
Oh,
that's put a smile on your
I think
face.
he said
that's encouraging, though, isn't it? That's encouraging.
He said something like it would be an honour to play for Forest in the Champions League.
Yeah, that was it.
He was rather good last night, wasn't he? He was rather good.
Fantastic.
We talk about how good he was, Rob.
There was one in the first half where Liverpool had a break, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but there were two Liverpool forwards, and it was kind of like a bit of an overload, and he had the audacity to anticipate it and just like stick a leg out, and he cut out an absolute key pass, and I was thinking that takes some balls. What you just did there, I said to the guy next to me, that's why he's worth 100 million, because it was the sort of thing that only Murillo does. If you know what I mean, there's certain things that only Murillo does. I mean, you know, to his credit, Milenkovic
was better than Van Dijk, that's for sure. Yesterday,
but actually, what really cracked me up was halfway through the second half, there was a bit where he won a crunching tackle on the edge of our box, and the ball just like rolled, and a Liverpool player picked it up, and then he tackled that one again, and then he kept going, and then the ball was rolling in front of him, and no one was picking it up. So then he went and won a third tackle, and he ended up like over the halfway line, and he was standing right in front of Nuno, and he literally turned to the left, and with my lip reading skills, I could see Nuno was saying like, "What the fuck are you doing there? Get back!"
Yeah, but Rob, what did he do with the next phase of play? Can you remember?
I can't remember. He gave it away, but
no, he just dragged the ball forward.
Right.
He just sent it flying. That's like, I have this much criticism I can put on Murillo, and when I say that, look at it under a microscope. That what you said about that tackle, it was almost like a reverse heel. It was one-on-one, wasn't it?
So cheeky,
my brother Mo texts me and goes, "What the hell was that? That was unbelievable." Yeah. And my only criticism of him is he almost seems to get excited when he gets into the opposition half after that sequence of tackles. And then he thinks, I'm within shooting distance. I'm only 60 yards away. Let me crack it.
It's funny because I'd said to Nathan just not long before that, look how far Alisson is out of his goal. If any Forest player gets the ball in his own half, just hoof it towards their goal. It's 35 yards out. And then Murillo did that. And said, look, at least I don't mind that. At least he had a go. It could have gone in.
But what I'm saying, my point is, I don't feel he looks up sometimes. Like, he's got such great passing range. He can switch that ball from that left-hand side cross-field into Elanga to run him into the space. Sometimes I just feel like, bang, he just wants to... So almost overexcitement. It will improve, no doubt. Let's not forget, he's still a kid. You know what I'm saying? But he was unbelievable, man. He was unbelievable.
Can you remember last season on Beat the Drop? I think Murillo had played about 10 or 15 games. And I said on there, this guy is phenomenal. He will be able to play for Real Madrid one day. And not you, but everybody else on the panel were literally laughing their heads off at me. Literally laughing their heads. Who's laughing now?
Yeah. But you know who else we should give praise to? This guy here, right? He has been one of the biggest differences this season. I was watching some tactical analysis on the recent Forest matches, and one of the things that makes our back line so secure is they all when we lose possession, the back line goes into like a really straight line. So there's a person marking each player, and the only reason that happens so successfully is because Milenkovic all match is going absolutely crazy at people, telling them where to go, telling them to move back in line. He tells when people should push out. He goes mad at Ryan Yates all the time, which I think is quite funny. Don't forget, this guy's the captain for Serbia, right? He's a captain of his country, and he has got to be one of the most influential players on that pitch. And, you know, I saw the captain's armband got passed from MGW to Murillo last night, which was fine because Murillo is world class. But Milenkovic, for me, is what a difference this guy's made this season.
Why is he not captain, Ben? Well, honestly,
he should be
I agree with you. He was just barking the orders around, man. I don't
He's
think you argue with him
fantastic.
either as a player, do you?
No.
You don't argue with
Well,
him. You just
even
say, yes,
Yates
sir.
doesn't argue with him, and Yates is the captain. Like I think he's got some serious
Why
respect.
why did nobody else in world football look at him and think, yeah, he's worth 12
Spurs
mil?
did. Spurs did.
I think his wages were high. That was
He
one
is
thing
our
that-
highest paid player. You're right, Rob. Yeah.
yeah.
Is he? Is he? What's he on? Do you know?
I think it's
No,
about
I think
120.
It's about the
120.
same as
Yeah, but
Chris
in
Wood.
Worth
Premier
every
League
penny,
terms,
mate.
that's not massive in Premier League terms, is it? So what I'm saying is, why all these other clubs? Where were they? God blimey.
Sleeping, man. They were sleeping. That's what.
And that's why you got to give credit to our recruitment. That narrative that we defended for 2 years about, oh, scattergun, I just spend money elsewhere. Yeah. They ain't saying shit now, are they? Nothing. I'm hearing absolutely nothing on that. Okay, the other one I want to talk about, should we try coming to Ez on it?
You can try. I'm not switching my cam on. I'll just speak.
All right, Nico Williams, bro.
Yes.
Okay. What we're always saying on him, he pocketed Salah 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, what are you saying on his performance? Sorry, before you answer, I've just got to catch up on a couple of the messages because we've got the Calvin Crow with the 28 months, the absolute legend. Hey, lovely to see Jess back in the chat.
Matz Sels, number one fan.
Jess.
That was number one fan. Yeah.
Jess.
Where's the royal?
Chris
Yes.
Wood's going to be jealous.
Flip flop Jess.
So much love for Sels, she says. Shout out to Jess, but what did
Sels,
Mourinho
number one
do wrong?
fan.
By the way, we haven't spoken about his goal yet. We'll cover that. Thank you, Jess, so much for the £2. Legend Wazza with the 13 months. Thank you to you as well. Likes. That's the word I was looking for. What are we on? 176, 400 in here. Come on, guys. Quick tickle on the like. And don't forget, we're going straight into the watch along to see Spurs beat Arsenal. Sorry. Ez, over to you. Over to you.
What was the question? I got distracted by his name on there. Sorry,
Williams.
Nico. Yeah, I mean, apart from, like I said, I think he was struggling after around the 70-minute mark, energy wise, but he was fantastic again yesterday. Purely in a defensive point of view, because I didn't really see enough or any opportunity for him to attack down that side, which is kind of a shame because I still think that was a real avenue for us to really go at them. But Nuno's, like I say, first hour or so, Nuno's tactics were spot on. So I've got no complaints about that up until that point. But Nico yesterday, again, proved for me that he's first name on the team sheet. You know, all being well, he's a right back. Well, he's technically a right winger playing as a left winger. And he's been immense. He's been absolutely immense. I said Salah doesn't do much against us. And the only game he did do something against us, we kind of like all forgot about early on last season when we lost 3-0 at Anfield. But I think yesterday was another reason why they're probably regretting getting rid of him as well, because he's proved to be he's living up to his price tag, and he's probably worth double that now if we put him on the market. So at least 35-40 million pound player at the moment. But yeah, again, immense, and Salah had one chance in the whole game which Sels managed to get. Oh no, sorry, he had two shots, didn't he? One Aina cleared off the line. But he had a shocking game yesterday in reality, considering what his stats are, and that's got to be down to how well Nico Williams played. So yeah, hats off to him, man. He was immense yesterday.
That's a good point, Ez. I get annoyed sometimes when people say they were saying that he had a stinker yesterday, and yes, he did have a stinker, but there are reasons, and one of those reasons is Nico Williams.
Yeah.
And you took the words on the narrative from mainstream media. I won't say the Liverpool fans, because I watched a few things yesterday where they were actually praising Nico Williams as, oh, Salah's had another stinker. Oh, this is all because he posted the Christmas tree picture on Twitter, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really impressed with Nico. Honestly, I think his football IQ has increased. I don't know if you noticed, Rob, but he was almost giving a bit of space to Salah and saying to him, all right, you decide which way you're going and I'm going to stop you off. He wasn't touch tight,
Williams. The good thing about Williams is that he's two-footed. So he's kind of in it's like, okay, you want to go outside? I can tackle with one foot. If you want to go inside, I can tackle with another, if you see what I mean. So Salah did. I had a good view of him in the first half where I was sitting. Salah did look dangerous. I thought his movement was scary, if you see what I mean, because like you can't take your eye off him. My only disappointment with Williams is we didn't see much of him in an attacking sense, but that's to be expected because of the job he had to do. I think where he's really blossomed recently, and I'm thinking like of the Villa game in particular, is the contribution he's made to the attack as well, because he can drift into midfield, he can overlap, underlap. His crossing's excellent. Nearly scored some screamers as well. But, you know, last night, no, it was just a textbook defensive job. But I really think he does benefit from being two-footed because he's not like your conventional left back would necessarily be in that situation.
The one thing I really like about Williams is that a few weeks after Nuno started, he released an interview saying that, you know, he went into Nuno's office and said to him, "What do I need to do to make the squad basically in terms of starting?" And I think that just shows like how much he wants to improve. And he's got to be one of the most improved players on the pitch, to be honest. I mean, in the same way that Alanga's improved in the last few matches, like this is good. This is what we want. We want players to take criticism and then get over that criticism and get better. And the fact that they're willing to do that and they're willing to try that hard is fantastic. Like what more can you ask from them than to try their hardest?
And can I just add to that? The other thing is he's actually keeping out a very good left back. Moreno is fantastic, and Moreno's really impressed me as well since he's been in. So it's not he's just holding on to his place because there's no competition. He's got some serious competition. Yet he's managed to, like I said, to be one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment.
And he's not a natural left wing back or left back. That's not his natural position. So
no, exactly. Well, I don't know if we're ready to move on to the goal yet, but one thing I wanted to say, because Rob said something similar, is if I'm not mistaken, the goal yesterday was a weak foot pass by Elanga and then a weak foot shot by Wood, which just makes it 10 times extra special for me.
Is Chris Wood left foot or right foot?
And he scored with his left foot.
He does score with both, though. He does score with both.
Yeah. This is what I'm getting onto. Chris Wood.
Check FIFA. Hold on.
I've got the stats in my head.
Remember his penalties. He's right-footed.
He's right-footed, right? I'm not sure how many seasons this was over, but the stats that I was looking at earlier said he scored 37 goals with his right foot and 17 with his left foot. Now that is impressive to be able to get that much power and accuracy with your weak foot. And again, the pass from Elanga, who's right-footed, he hit that with his left foot. So it's two weak foot passes and then a shot to score that goal.
He's 3-star weak foot on FIFA.
I'm never going to play FIFA again. It's sickening. I thought
he scored plenty of goals with his left foot.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he scored a goal with his left foot against Newcastle away last season, for example.
Dink was left-footed, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dink was left-footed. Yeah.
It's impressive. It's highly.
FIFA have got. He cannot be 3-star weak foot.
No, he's got to be at least 4.
No, he's got to be at least 5-star.
No.
Oh, you say at least that's the highest.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
going back
talk about the goal.
Can I also mention Callum Hudson-Odoi's part in that goal?
Yeah,
it's very important.
I don't think he had a good game though, if I'm honest with you.
No, he didn't. Yeah. He didn't. But that part of the that's why I say give him give him his flowers on that particular occasion. He won the ball, passed it out to Elanga. It was superb. Yeah. 3 passes basically, wasn't it? 3 passes. Cho to Elanga to Wood.
Got them open.
Yeah.
Completely.
Who went in with that 50-50?
This world-class player. Where was he? He was standing there watching.
MG Dub with a 50-50? Or was it Anderson?
Someone went in with Salah, didn't they? Who went in with him?
It was under MG Dub, one of them two.
I can't remember.
But what, for the goal?
Yeah, because Kanate headed it clear. He headed it out. And then I think it might have been Nico Williams. And then Mohamed Salah just went very weak and pulled out at the 50-50.
Yeah, was it Anderson?
It was Anderson. Shout out to the chat. They're always on it. It was
Anderson played really well yesterday.
He was
I
good.
didn't
Yeah,
even
but
know
that's
that.
the point.
You know
Yeah,
who
but it was Cho that played the ball to Ilanga.
Yeah, no, but Anderson went into the 50-50 with Salah.
Anderson's defensive performance last night shouldn't be underestimated. He was everywhere.
It was
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of below the radar stuff, wasn't it? And it was he was. If you watched it back and you drew a big red ring around him, you go, "Oh look, that was Anderson again." But it was like it wasn't the headline.
The player cam on, and you'd see the amount of work he did and the amount of tackles he put in.
It was really good. Do you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a prime Dominguez at the end of last season. Because I've got to say, I've been slightly disappointed with Dominguez this season, but Anderson is almost taken that role and made it better effectively.
Yeah, I've not been disappointed with it. I think Dominguez has played well this season.
I don't think he's doing as well as he did last season.
I think it might be. I might be wrong here, Crypto, but it might be because you're comparing him with how the others have come on.
Well, yeah,
you know
100%.
Look at So
Dominguez stood out, and now he no longer stands out because he's got
that's what
players around him.
All right, so have we talked about the goal or not?
Sterling
fantastic goal.
Sterling playing.
Great,
He's
got to be on
go for half an hour. Spin your goddamn fat head around, man.
He's got to be on for 20. I mean, how soon is he going to hit the 20? Is my question. I mean, I secretly, but not secretly anymore. I really, really want this for him now.
Why did you secretly want it?
Well, no, because if somebody
why a secret, Rob?
If somebody said to you, Forest are going to spend 30 or 40 million on a striker this window, I'd part of me would be saying, "Oh, I really want Chris Wood to get his 20 goals, though." Do you know what I mean?
Dislodge Chris Wood, you know. He wouldn't just come in.
He wouldn't
replace Chris Wood as number one. That'd upset the team by now.
Look, I don't care who we sign as long as Chris Wood is allowed to get his 20 goals. Because I think
is this already his best goal scoring season in the top five?
It is such a great story.
What was that, Ez?
This is already his best goal.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, I think he needs like one or two more.
Yeah, it's his first ever career goal against Liverpool as well, and he was rather pleased with that.
You know what made me laugh? Obviously, at the ground, it was absolutely amazing, right? But when I watched it on telly today, if you watch the way he runs to score that goal, his arse is up and down, legs are side to side.
Have you got the TV on? And have you got the TV on? Is Dan Potts on?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Shout out to Dan, man. He's calling it straight on Arsenal, man.
He won't be happy. He's
been entertaining to watch. It's been entertaining to watch. All right, let's move on and talk about the overall picture and what we've learned. Okay. And don't forget, straight after this, we'll be going on to the watch along for Arsenal versus Spurs. What does this mean? Where are we? What's changed? Has anything changed? What are your expectations?
The chat the question, because did we ask him last time? Are we in a title race? That's what I want to ask. I want to ask the chat and I want to ask you lot as well. Are we still in the title race?
All right, let's do this. Rather than a poll, chat, put in the chat what position. Let's do a couple of things. What your expectations are for Forest and what you think Forest to finish. I don't know how you're going to write it, but you lot figure it out. Go on, as you're speaking away. What are you saying now?
Well, like I said last time, you put me on a spot and I said, yes, we're going to win the league. And for me, actually, yesterday didn't change any of that. Liverpool will slip up and they're in the middle of it now. Okay, so let's have a look. We're slagging off Salah's performance. Salah contract talks. Van Dijk was as ineffective yesterday as I've ever seen him for Liverpool. And we know what's going on with Trent. So they're three key players. And you're telling me that's not going to affect the team morale and the way they play and how they perform? It's already affecting them. Is that 3 draws out of their last 7 games? So Liverpool are on their little stump. They don't have to lose games for us to catch up with him.
We were saying last night, sorry, just to confirm what you're saying. We were saying last night that in the last 6 games, Forest have gained 6 points.
We've clawed 6 points on them, yeah. So carry on with that trajectory.
Should have been 9.
Yeah, we'll carry on with that trajectory. And I'm fully expecting us to smash Southampton this weekend. I'm sorry if I'm being a bit too cocky on that, but
no, you're right, mate. You're right.
They're the worst team in the league by far, you know. And unfortunately, I think we're going to break
Diaby's record as well.
Especially Especially after Wolfie says we're definitely staying up. So yeah, he's always right, but that's what he's
That's a
definitely
good
got
point.
wrong.
Hey, can you blame me when you hear Sorry Mike's voice? Can you blame me for wanting that voice in the
No,
Premier
no.
League?
I mean, yeah, well, exactly. Obviously, let's just adopt him. But I can understand you giving him sympathy. But there's no way they're surviving, and it'd be bad on us for not getting maximum results.
I haven't
and
given up on them.
We got to get a better goal difference as well in that game, because we haven't really smashed the team so far this season, despite how well we've played in games. And I know that's
we'll go 1 up against Southampton, then defend.
I'm not bring Morata on. I'll be asking for Morata.
Our goal difference is currently better than Man City by 1.
Yeah, no,
I
The
want
funny
it
thing
to
is,
be
I
better.
was just thinking now, if you go back exactly 1 year ago, we were nervously looking over our shoulder at Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United.
I don't look back. I only look forward.
And right now, we're nervously looking over our shoulder at Man City, Newcastle, and Aston Villa.
Arsenal, we're ahead of Arsenal,
Well,
mate.
I think in terms of where we finish and what we aim for, etc., we've got to try and get top 4. You know, we can't just assume that 5th is going to be Champions League. We should be going for 4. Now,
my mentality is if we go for the title, we're definitely going to finish in the top 4. That's what I'm saying. Go for the top.
I think going for the title and going for the top 4 is pretty much the same thing.
So if I am to be as rich as Elon Musk, can I expect a couple of million through the door tomorrow?
Yeah, no, it does work like that in football terms.
Yeah.
It does.
You have the application.
Can I just shout out Forrester Magic 87? He sent me the video that he sent you, actually, Wolfie, of Murillo, saying it'd be an honor to play for, and he's got such a smiley face. I'm feeling all gooey inside. That's
you're talking about Jay. That's Jay.
That's Jay. Forrester Magic 87, yeah?
Yeah. Shout out to Jay, top bloke.
Yeah. So
of course we're in a title race. So if you want to look at the facts instead of opinions, there's 17 games left and we're 6 points behind them.
Exactly.
So we're
chasing Liverpool, man.
Listen,
no
ifs or buts.
Oh, you took it off me.
You actually pressed the button for once.
I mean, Spurs will probably win tonight because Saka's not playing and Arteta.
Listen, Mr. Arsenal Avenger, I should be very, very careful because pride comes before a fall. Let me tell you. And you guys have been promising a lot for a lot of years and delivered fuck all. So just be careful before you get too cocky.
This
is a fraud.
And I'm accused of being an Arsenal fan, by the way.
And by the way, Arsenal Avenger, if you're going to accuse me of having an Arsenal agenda, you cannot accuse Ant of having an Arsenal agenda.
No, you can't. You really can't.
He's got half
so what are we saying, boys? Because I've got like 10 minutes here, and then I need to squeeze my dinner in somewhere.
We need Liverpool to throw us some encouragement by having a proper stumble.
They got Brentford away next, Rob.
Brentford, exactly. Yeah. Brentford away, man. Brentford are going to beat them.
Derby with Everton as well, but they are going to have
draw, actually.
Liverpool are going to need to lose a couple of games pretty soon.
No, they don't. They just need to draw games. This is what I'm saying. They do not need to lose games. They lost the title with losing 1 game all season. They don't need to lose.
They did.
My God, Ez has done his research on Liverpool, man.
When was that? Was that when Gerrard slipped? What year was that?
That was when they lost 4-0 to Watford. They lost 4-0. The only game they lost all season, 4-0 to Watford. So funny thing happened in football.
Yeah, that was the season that Company scored in that second to last game and won the title. Basically, they couldn't overtake them in that last game, even with a win. So they honestly they've won almost as many titles as us in the last 30 years. So everyone's making out like the championships is.
And don't forget as well, we'll probably beat them to win the FA Cup. So
and like you say, we'll ignore crypto. Like you say, Ez, as well. They've got 3 players who are involved in contract negotiations, which is never a good thing. And yesterday, I tell you now, all 3 of those players yesterday were average at best.
Dog shit, man.
And we've got 2.
Yeah, no, because they're going to sign up.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
Okay.
They're going to
Salah's already said on several occasions. Now, it might be bullshit. It might be a negotiation tactic, but
I'm not.
It's not good for Liverpool fans. He's already said on several occasions, this is going to be my last year at Liverpool.
He said they're a million miles away from a. He said they're a million miles away from a contract talk.
Typical Arab.
I said to my brother yesterday, the only problem with Trent is he wants white shorts on with the kit they've got. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. His head's gone. He's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
It was.
He's good
he did
riddance as
nothing
well. I don't
yesterday.
think that great.
I'm just getting over the fact that you're questioning me, Ant, over Aina.
What do you
I'm
mean?
hurt.
No, he
Hurt.
wasn't. He wasn't.
I'm
He
hurt.
he said
if
Salah.
I'm
He
not
didn't say
bullshitting,
Salah.
what have I bullshitted you?
Eh?
He
What
didn't
have I
say that.
bullshitted you?
You misheard him, Wolfie.
What did I
He
say?
said Salah. He didn't say your name. He said
Oh,
Salah.
Salah. I thought you said me. Oh. Oh, okay.
Right,
All right,
and
that
I got
makes
you
more
back, bro.
sense now. All right, all right.
What?
All right, we're friends again. We're friends again.
Oh, goody.
Shout out, Ellie. Just a quick reminder, we're gonna switch to the watch along in a couple of minutes. Got 206 likes. Please make sure you hit that like button. All right, so what are you boys saying about the game tonight? What do you think and what do you want to happen? let's finish with this.
I think seriously, I genuinely think Spurs are going to win. The reason why is
Tell me why, please. I need something.
Arsenal without Saka. Saka's a very good player. Arsenal without Saka are not the same team. Also, Arsenal bottle everything. And thirdly, Arteta. I know Anne loves him, but what has Arteta done for Arsenal? For that club?
Oh my God! Don't bring it. Don't
players.
keep
so
it
crap.
to the match.
Yeah,
Keep it
what
to the
have you
match.
done?
Otherwise,
Yeah,
you're going to show
right.
yourself off.
Arsenal
Keep it to
should
the
be
match.
winning Premier Leagues. They should
No,
be
they
doing.
shouldn't.
They should. Arteta,
No, they
Arteta
shouldn't.
can't
Yes,
get
they
it
should.
out of them.
And
They
you
No,
spent
they
enough money,
shouldn't.
man.
They
The
You
only
spent enough
reason
money.
is
So have Liverpool.
got-
So have Manchester United. So have
I know,
Chelsea.
but
So have
he's had-
Manchester City.
Yeah, but
the only
He's had
reason.
nearly 10
All right,
trophies
one at a
with
time.
the
You're
highest
talking over each
striker.
other.
Right, the only
Ben,
reason
finish
that,
your
that
point.
Australian Wolfie lookalike has still got a job.
How do
It's
I
because
look like him? I just don't get the resemblance. Sorry. How?
Imagine him
The
in.
only reason
Yeah, you
he's
do.
still in a
Yeah,
job
you
is
do.
he's got this excuse of all the injuries.
I'm like a
right?
quarter Greek, man. That must be some strong Greek I've got in me. I'm like
All right,
2/3
Wolfie,
Arab.
Wolfie,
I'm born in
just say-
Scotland, man. We
say
have
good day,
no
mate.
You look
freaking
almost
lineage
Say good
together,
day,
man.
mate. Say good day, mate. Go on,
But
say it.
if I think it could
Are
be
you not entertained?
I've got a feeling it could be a serious thrashing tonight, and then they are going to sack him.
For
So,
who? Oh, for Spurs.
Yeah,
Spurs.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Kulusevski's going to have a field day today, and then
Yeah,
Jono's
but-
going to come off the bench and score.
Yeah, but
remember
like-
that.
let me
3-0
paint
and
this
they'll sack
scenario.
He won't let that Jono love go, will he?
Yeah, he's going to
Let me
remember his
paint this
Forest fan
scenario.
tonight.
You know what, Ez? That is a cracking point. Surely Jono still bleeds red.
He
Yeah.
does, man. He does.
Well, I do.
Surely.
Everybody does, don't they?
His dad doesn't. His dad
And
doesn't.
Didn't they let him
and bleeds
6 at
tequila,
home
man.
to Liverpool? They're a shambles defensively.
Don't.
They are. I'm sorry, they're going to get thrashed tonight, and they're going to sack him.
What, Spurs? No
Yeah.
way. Maybe the other way around.
No. Look,
No,
they've
Arteta will
let
not
him
be
off.
sacked.
They've let him off because of all the injuries. But
Who, and?
when they get humiliated tonight by Arsenal, then they will take it out on him. They'll sack
No,
They
him.
it's
will
not
not
gonna
sack
happen.
him.
It's
They
not
will
gonna
not
happen.
sack him.
But why? Why is he sack proof?
Because they're still in the cup. They're still in the cup.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll
So
see.
you remember when they
I
did
hope
it
the
before
guy
with
will keep it for
Mourinho,
the
when
next
they
10
sacked him
years.
6 days before the final?
Yeah,
They won't do it
Yeah,
again.
I know.
And,
Oh,
and
shit.
who would they bring in, Rob?
I don't know.
Nuno, bring him back.
Guy, guy.
No, but I've just remembered. Do you know the reason why Spurs are crap? It's because your £80 million player, Solanke, is playing for them up front.
65.
He's not been that bad. Come on,
Yeah,
you can't
it
blame it
wasn't
on him.
80.
Put his wages.
Yeah,
80
he's
million
not been that
for the wages.
bad, and he's not the reason that they don't have a defense. That's a lifestyle choice.
It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with Ange Postecoglou's tactics. We all know that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the stubbornness.
He just wants to play
Oh, we
all
do,
out.
mate.
We've got
Basically,
No
injuries.
defense.
And just looked at everything that Nuno is doing that's making Forest so successful, and he's
Done the
decided
opposite.
to do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
He's
right.
taking
15 shots for 1 goal. 15 shots. Average conceded 3 per match.
He's taken
I'm sorry,
the
Arsenal just-
counter attack, and just gone full attack.
And I'm sorry,
Somebody
Arsenal
said-
just
somebody
struggle
said to him,
without.
"Oh, we had
set
Nuno
pieces."
Espirito Santo before, and the fans didn't like his defensive attitude. They thought, I know how to solve this.
One extreme to the other.
Yeah,
It's all Brennan Johnson's fault. Yeah, they still hate him, don't they? They still hate him. Oh my God. I
He
hope
can do it
because he
the
wrote
same
that
way.
Arsenal
He can
Avenger,
do it the
right?
same
He gets
way.
a hat trick tonight. And I hate
Yeah.
Spurs,
come
man.
Brennan.
Oh, I hate having to support
That's a
teams
good
I hate.
suggestion. Cooper for Spurs. Do you think Cooper could keep Spurs up?
No,
No,
No.
No chance.
I don't think
No
Cooper could keep Liverpool up.
Mate, if Cooper went to
It's what
Spurs,
you're
he'd be
saying,
out
Ben.
quicker than
No
Ange was,
trouble.
than
Like,
Nuno was. All right, I've got 3
I'm
minutes
talking
to
about Alex
make
Cooper.
some dinner.
Yeah,
Right.
let's let him go, man.
Yeah, okay. So,
Right.
guys, this will take you straight to the watch along. I'm going to grab a plate of something. And hopefully, the missus has made me a plate of something. And
Yeah,
we'll be
you-
straight live with the watch along because we are all Spurs fans.
No, we're not.
No,
Don't
we're
go
not.
that
You didn't
far.
have to add that. He's speaking for himself.
No. You can prefer a Tottenham team to take the advantage over your rival.
I don't want to, man. I don't want
you
to.
can-
No,
Yeah,
we
you
have
do.
to. We have to.
Because we're going to
to.
win the league.
Look
We're
at the
gonna
bigger
win the
picture.
league.
If Spurs,
Bigger
all right, let me
picture.
ask you like this. If Spurs score, are you going to celebrate?
No, I've always said that. I already said that straight off.
No?
I won't.
0-0
I'm-
draw.
I'll go. Okay.
If it's John, I will.
Oh, I wish you were here, Ez. I'll give you a damn good thrashing, lad.
Actually, I've got Johnson in my fantasy team, so fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, Shelby, your goddamn
Why
fantasy
you got
team,
John?
man.
For a while, man. How long you had him in?
He's
Fucking
been
hell.
doing all right.
Take
Yeah,
him out. You
why
might
not?
be jinxing him. Take him out, put him back in next week. All right,
Why
please
not?
make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. This is going to kick you across to the watch along, or it'll pop a screen up at the end. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
You Spurs.